I wanted to put myself out there. I wanted to fall on my face. I wanted to fail. I wanted to fail. Subconsciously, I did, because I was reading all these things like, oh, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. You got to try. I was like, well, I better get it over with now. I better make this thing and just fail right here. And then the next one, hopefully that one is, I'm 1 for 1. But all joking aside, like, that's what it was. It was just seeing if I can do something, and I did it. And I did sell some, and it was great. Like, it was fun. I had fun doing it.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Moments of Aha. This is where we want you to understand that no one is coming to save you. But there is good news, because you already have everything inside of you. We believe that you are already the hero of your own life. And we bring on guests that have developed their internal superpowers to align with their inner hero. And when we say superpowers, we believe powers here, meaning internal qualities or traits that we were all born with, and that helps develop our character. Superpowers are the deliberate practice and strengthening of these powers so that we do align with the hero within us all. Today's everyday hero is the founder of The Good Life Chef, a food prep and catering service out of Las Vegas. His team brings gourmet meals to the locals with healthy, delicious selections with the freshest ingredients in season, the epitome of farm to table. In this unique season, he also offers healthy kids meals to alleviate stress off the parents that are working full-time and also doing homeschool. If you're looking to learn how to cook, the chef also offers cooking classes for kids and couples for a fun date night. Chef has also worked for some of our most favorite chefs, and I'm sure you've known some of them: Wolfgang Puck, Emerald Lagasse, and Gordon Ramsay on the Las Vegas Strip. His passion is not just cooking, but also giving back. The Good Life Chef works close to a few nonprofits here in Vegas, Garden Farms Foundation, and Create a Change. Chef Andrew partners up with these groups to help feed the ones in need, along with educating kids on the importance of healthy eating and lifestyle. The man who has not only a vision, but the drive to execute it. Andrew Pro.
Wow, man.
What's up, dude?
Thanks
for coming here and hanging out.
For me. You mentioned all our best friends, and we're stoked to be here. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, super excited. We already tried to do a podcast last week, and it actually turned out well.
Which was pretty amazing.
Yeah,
we'll probably put the link right below.
Right below here. But we decided to do it in person, and this is going to be the first interview in person for myself. And so I'm really excited, and you're the one that I want because we've been friends for a long time, and you really inspire me, Andrew. You've always inspired me. Me being a server in Gordon Ramsay, and you're always a chef. The teamwork and just the professionalism and the leadership that you provided in that restaurant always inspired me. And you always had side things going on, and we always talked about personal development books. And so, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, no problem, man. Like you said, I've always been attracted to like-minded individuals, people who I can have deep, meaningful conversations with, people who live with purpose and who want to, like you said, develop their mind, train their bodies, and just perform at the highest levels possible. I just like talking with you, man. I just like being here. I thank you for letting me be in your home, and it's a cool space. I like the energy in here.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Yeah.
So first question.
Yeah.
Moments of aha can also mean moments of awakening. So that can be a singular experience or a process of multiple experiences. Right. But I'm curious about your process of awakening.
You mean waking up in the morning? Yeah, so I wake up in the morning and have a cup of coffee and usually do dishes, get the mind right,
Yeah.
Trying to tidy up in the morning. But yeah, vision, awakening, those epiphanies have always been in my life, man. Like, people think, especially my wife, she thinks I'm nuts because I'm just constantly spewing ideas. And I mean, I've read that in a book, like you have to just keep writing down ideas, and that's never been a problem with me. And when I was younger, I would, be hard on myself and be like, man, those ideas are dumb. They're never going to be anything. It's not going to make sense to anybody. Why even say it out loud? But man, these days, like all those insecurities are over. Like I'm saying every single idea, and one of them is going to be like, aha, that's a good one we can run with. But yeah, I mean, and with that, like you don't have to be so anxious to like get it done right away. I got to get this done tomorrow. I have to just keep it in the back of your mind, and then work on it.
Yeah. So what I hear in that is, one is consistency, and also with ideas, not only just having ideas, but executing them. And you've executed on quite a few ideas. I'm curious, we just got done talking right before we actually started shooting, but when you're in 7th grade, there's this picture on your Facebook of you in a band, spiky hair, 90s kid, jumping up in the air, and you just got done telling me how you created a CD, and that was your first tangible manifestation of an idea that you had. Would you say that played a really big role in kind of your development into an entrepreneur journey, or that drive?
Yeah, I think so. I think what I was saying was like subconsciously has always been back there. Like you've done this before when you're a little kid. Like why are you being insecure now when you're an adult? Like when I was in 7th grade, like 4 or 5 buddies of mine started this band, and it's pretty incredible to get like 5 kids on the same page of, especially on the same notes of playing a song and then creating these things. And so we packaged it up. We went in the studio. We put them on a CD. Then now we have a CD. Now we have to make copies of it. We're putting stars on it. We're branding it. We're telling everybody about it at school, which is the marketing. And like when you're that young, you don't really know about anything like that. But now you look back at it, you're like putting it together like that. That is how you do it. Like at a basic level, you have to believe in something, and then you have to have a work on it, which is practicing, and execute it, which is the CD, and then market it, brand it, and send it out to the world. So I think that can be applied to like anything that you really want to become a physical thing in the world.
Yeah, I think that's so wild, right? When we're children, we are so courageous to put ourselves out there and try new things and just do it because it's fun and it's what you want to do.
Yeah, because it's fun. That's what I want it to be. I want life to be that way. I don't want to do things because I have to do it. I have a choice. I don't have to be here.
Yeah.
I mean, I could be talking to anybody. I want to be here. I want it to feel like a good thing when I'm creating anything, pursuing new ideas. Like I want that fire to be stoked, to let me know like, yeah, you're on the right path. And if it doesn't do that, don't force it, man. Move on. Go on to another idea and find what really stokes your fire, and then just follow that flame.
Yeah. One of the powers that I actually have for you is drive. And how we define drive is the combination of perseverance plus resilience. So consistency plus standing back up after you fall down. That is our definition of drive here. So, and the power that I chose for you. So how would you say drive played a big role in that process of, one, you just got done saying that try something, and if it doesn't work and you're not having fun, move on to the next thing, where you're not getting stuck on an idea and it has to be structured in a certain way, but you flow into a space of really accomplishing the things that you want to accomplish, and in that you have this like beautiful vision. So how does drive play a role in all of that?
Yeah, you have to always have like the end target in sight. Things are going to happen along the way. We always talk about life metaphors, right, Jonathan, about golf, and how when you're playing the game of golf, you're going to take a lot of shots and a lot of things are going to go wrong. However, in those moments, you have to stay stoic and you have to be able to endure the bad times. But there's also going to be really, really good times, and there's always going to be victory stories as well. And just to balance that out, you always have to be stoic in those small victories as well, because you haven't really reached the end goal in sight. So I just think it's very dangerous to live on the extremes of both sides, of really getting down yourself on all the failures and then just really over celebrating like the small victories. Not saying you shouldn't celebrate and not be proud of yourself what I'm saying is just keep your eye on the further distant goal, and then just keep moving forward to that.
Yeah, to me it sounds like just being even keeled and not being too drawn up into either side of the spectrum of falling down and then, whoa me, this sucks. What do I do now?
Yeah,
I'm stuck. And then on the other side, it's just like, oh, look at me. I'm amazing. I've accomplished, 3 steps into my goal when the destination is still in the future.
Yeah, overconfidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And golf is such a great game for that, because not only every shot is so important, because one shot you can slice the ball out of the course, but every hole, it's a reset. It's a
reset.
Yeah.
And you have the ability to reset on that next shot as well. Like if you take a bad day into the next bad day, you're probably gonna have a bad day the next bad day. So you're always gonna have another shot. So just really stay focused on executing whatever is on your plate that day.
So in that, I hear momentum, and momentum is something that I focus on a lot in my life. How does momentum play a role in that process of really getting to that, not per se end destination, because there is never really an end, because there's always going to be something more, but how do you build momentum to execute on your goals?
Man, just so like taking those little shots, you're going to have victories on those. And when that is happening, you really have to strike when the iron's hot, like really ride that momentum of, all right, things are going good right now. My ideas are really coming and flowing. What am I doing on the day-to-day basis that's leading me in this direction? Just keep doing that and just make minor adjustments in that way. And they're gonna have bad days, and like we said, just let those pass, and then just stick on track with your goal in mind, focused, laser focused.
Yeah. There you go.
Laser focused.
So in the laser focus, we've had many conversations. And I know another superpower that I picked out for you is faith. And, faith isn't just asking for something. I believe that faith plus action equals answered prayers. So how has faith and spirituality played a role in your journey and in your life on a consistent basis?
Yeah, man, faith is very important in my life. Sometimes I can't even believe my life. I can't even believe the places that God has put in me. I can't believe the things I've been through, and He's got me through. So I put a lot on my faith. I put it all on my faith. The Bible and its word is what I go off of, and whoever my my mentors or people I look up to, or whatever they're saying to me, if it aligns with the Bible, and I'll reiterate it, and if all matches, then I know it's good. It's good word. So I try to walk with God in every aspect I do, because things are not always controllable, and you can't do anything alone, right? So you just always have to be mindful that your faith is what keeps you going when all else fails.
Yeah, a key point that I heard in that is it's not what you get, but how you show up. And in that, how you show up for your community is very admiring, and it's something that a Heroes Academy wants to emulate, and also Mackenna and I try to emulate a lot as well.
Right.
How does giving back play a role in your life? And you've been working with kids and teaching them how to cook it isn't something new. You've been doing this for quite a while now. That we would talk about years ago, that you would take time out and help kids learn how to cook. Where did this service kind of birth from, and where do you see it going?
Yeah, like even when I was a little kid, like having the OGs coming up around the corner, like the good ones, and letting you know that you put hard work in. Even coaches, like those are the first mentors that we had, were coaches, right? So putting the hard work in and giving you a little faith, or giving you a little hope that if you put a little work in, extra work in, you're gonna succeed. So I just want to be able to be that voice in some young adult's life that you might have grown up in a situation where you feel like you're stuck and it's just going to be another rotation around the sun and you can't get out of it. But I know that your thoughts become things, and your whole life can change with just one thought. It can just, if you just train yourself to focus and think of new ways to improve your life, and you work on those things, you can be sent in a trajectory that will completely change your whole life and your whole family's life, really. Right? Even like one bad thing, it can even be in the opposite direction. Like even one bad thing can change the trajectory of your life. So it's funny how just like one little thing can change your whole life, like the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
One little
yeah,
thing.
definitely.
One little thing can change your whole life, and we all know that. We all know that now.
Yeah, there's a few different directions that I want to go from there. So I'm going to go back to mentorship, because I know mentorship is huge in my life, and you've had some amazing mentors. But also kind of share with you one of my favorite quotes, and it is, change the lenses in which you see the world, and the world will change. So that to me is perspective. And when you talk about it's all starting with your thoughts, your thoughts shape the way that you see the world. So in that, what are some of the lenses in which you see the world that make a good life? You know, the Good Life Chef. You came up with this beautiful name. So
it's everything. It's really how you look at every little thing. You know, how things are going to happen to you, and it's just how you react to it. Like people have road rage. I've never had a problem with road rage. Like maybe I'm just giving the rage away on the road, but you have a choice the way you react to something, what you're filled with. So it's like whatever you're filled with, you're going to spew out when something goes wrong in your life. So like something goes wrong, you're filled with hate and frustration. You're just gonna be like, oh, screw that guy and screw this. But if you're filled with love and compassion, you're gonna be like, oh, I understand. They might be going through something, and you move on. But if you're filled with the other negative stuff, you can carry that on to your next thing, and like that next thing could be, you know, your family. You can't be taking. You can't just be exuding negativity like that around.
No, absolutely not. And, you know, in that I hear attitude, and that's actually one of the other superpowers I have for you, because anytime that I've ever worked around you, and in stressful situations, like if anybody has never worked in the service industry, especially at somewhere like Gordon Ramsay Steak, where we are busy from beginning to end, and it is just a grind. And the chefs are at the front of the line. They're expediting the quality of food, making sure things get out in time, the food items get out in time, and then you have servers come up to you asking where their food is, and you have to be able to delegate one and also communicate in a clear fashion with a positive attitude. And you've always had a positive attitude. So is that something that you've always had? Because it sounds like it starts from your thoughts. You know, if you have that loving, compassionate thought, you're more understanding of people. So is it something that you've always kind of had, or did you develop that along your journey?
No, yeah, I didn't. I was a jerk.
Oh, really?
I've been a jerk. Yeah, I've been a jerk a lot of times, and learning that is like people have to call you out on it. If no one calls you out on it, then you're going to continue being mean and a jerk to people. And something you have to work on. You have to just really have compassion towards people and know that they're going through something as well, and slow down. I think people just, from what I've learned during service, you know, like it's stressful for everybody. I think everybody just needs to slow down, and that could just be put into place in your everyday life. Like nothing, don't rush things too much. Like just really have the ability to control and ease your mind a little bit, so you can really make the right decision and not hurt someone's feelings, or, you know, say something that you don't mean, and just stay composed. It's staying stoic, right? It's staying composed in all stressful situations. So that way, when you are in a nice, beautiful situation. I mean, we'll just be floating cloud nine.
Yeah. So in that time when you were a jerk, and it sounds like you have to call people out on that, was it something where someone called you out and brought that awareness to you? Because we get caught up in our story so intensely that we don't even recognize who we are and how we show up sometimes. One of my favorite metaphors or visualizations that I use is when you're standing 2 inches away from the painting, you're only going to see fragmented pieces. You're going to see it blurry. You're not going to see anything. But when you take 10 steps back, you're going to see that this is a beautiful masterpiece.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes in our lives, when we're having a difficult time, when we are being a jerk and our ego's taking over, we're not actually seeing who we are and how we're treating people. The result and the impact, the influence that we actually have on somebody when we are being an asshole or a jerk. But when we take a step back, and sometimes we need a friend or a partner to say, hey, this is what you're doing, take a look. And sometimes it's a punch in the face, but when you lower the ego, it's the most beneficial thing. So
it is.
Did somebody do that to you, or how did that come about?
You're a big part of the union, the culinary union, or about HR, and you go to. When I was coming up in the chef world, like chefs know, whoever's listening to this is a chef, they know that it was gnarly back in the day. I mean, we were just the tail end of it,
Mm-hmm.
But when I was like in my 20s, when I was first starting in the kitchen, like the chefs were allowed to yell at you and curse at you, throw stuff at you, throw your food away, and just treat you like. And then that kind of you knew that was coming, so you in turn, you reacted in a positive way to that, like it made you work harder. Well, 10 years later, it's not necessarily that way, and when you're getting rewarded by your uppers for treating people that way, you're going to keep doing it. And people, you can't treat people that way. I'm glad I'm glad people really called me out on that, and it really did change the way I looked at people and the way I treat my employees now. Like, I can't even imagine having employees now and then treating them the way I did on Gordon Ramsay's dime,
Yeah.
No way. There's no way.
So, speaking of Gordon Ramsay, mentorship is huge in my life. It's why I am who I am today, because I can do all the work I want to on my own. It's called self-help and personal development for a reason. But if you really want to expand to that next level, mentorship and coaching is so crucial in development. So you've had some of the most amazing mentors in the culinary world. But also mentorship doesn't have to be that in-person relationship. Mentorship could also be out of person. It could be a YouTube, podcast, books. So I'm curious, some of the biggest mentors in your life, and how did they shape your leadership and the way that you developed?
Yeah, it's like personal development is fairly new in my life, probably the last 5 years. I would say I just when I started getting into it, but you start with one person, and I think the guy below Jesus is Tony Robbins, and I just like his style. He integrates his faith in his style as well. But anyway, that guy is anybody will say that Tony Robbins is the guy. So yeah, that's one guy that I started reading up on. The book was called Awaken the Giant Within. It's a pretty thick book, but man, once I started diving deep into that one, it really just changes your what'd you call it? Neuroplasticity. I think that's the first time I've heard that, neuroplasticity, and that's the whole thing on that is like training your brain, training habits in your brain to get used to uncomfortable, sticky situations that really will benefit your life later on, right? I think I'm articulating that a little bit.
100%. Yeah, it's neural pathways in your brain of how you function, and how we got to this point in our life today of how we function is from neuroplasticity through the habits we've done. Now, what's so important about that is that means our brain is malleable. And so if we consistently do something different and create a new habit, our brain will ultimately become the habit, and now it's new neural pathways,
Yeah.
and neuroplasticity created a new version of you. And so, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you explained it great.
Yeah. So that was him. Tony Robbins was the first guy, and then, your phone will start sending you weirdly people that they think that you'll probably benefit from. I don't know how they do it, but Tim Ferriss was the next guy that I really. From Tim Ferriss, he wrote the 4 Hour Work Week, and I'm still trying. Like, he wrote that in 2001. I'm still trying to comprehend how he did that. I'm almost there. I think I almost figured that one out, but he figured out a way to white label his supplements. So he white labeled supplements, or he private labeled supplements, and then he sold them in America. And with American money, he moved to like a third world country. I think it was Thailand or something, or Vietnam. And then he lived off American money and Thailand money, dollars. And he was explaining, like, I'm actually saving money because I'm earning American money and now living in a third world country below my means. And I thought that was like genius. Oh, it's so genius.
Yeah.
Like, it's so beyond, like, it was ahead of its time. I think that's where the e-commerce boom came after that. But he wrote a book called Tools of Titans like 10 years later. I mean, this thing is amazing because he interviews
this thick.
Yeah, it's called Tools of Titans. Habits of successful traits and habits of successful billionaires, entrepreneurs, and CEOs. And the book is like separated into like health, wealth, wisdom, and something like that. And just it's basic interviews just like this with the same questions, and he's trying to decipher. And what's good about this book is like it's a choose your own adventure book. So like all these people that I read about, they just instantly became my mentors, like that's what it's called.
Yeah.
Tools of Titans, mentors, right? So I mean, reading up on these guys and trying to figure out what they were doing in their life and what habits did they all have in common. That's what I was trying to decipher, and that's what he wanted us to do, was try to like pick out things that these successful people are doing and then just implement them into your life, and then that would just create a new pathway in your brain, like neuroplasticity, and like really shaping your thoughts and your habits into a life of a good life, one that is you can be proud of, one that you work hard for, one that is giving. And I think that's what I'm getting from all these successful people, is that they have these amazing traits and amazing superpowers that they all have in common, and that's our job, is to decide which ones that we want to have.
Yeah, absolutely. One other thing that I love about you is your work ethic, not only in the kitchen that I've seen in your own business, but you've been really into CrossFit. And so I'm curious how working out in sports has played a role in your whole self-image and confidence in who you are.
Yeah, I think that's where the drive came from, dude. Like playing baseball, sports was like before the bands.
Yeah,
sports was the thing. Baseball was the thing, and that's where the discipline came. And I think that's the early introduction to discipline and being able to be a good listener and receptive to learning and to look up to people and then putting in work. Right? I think that's the ground level of where that drive and work ethic comes from, is from sports, and knowing that like you could just if you put in the hard work, then eventually, little by little, you'll get better. So, what was the question again?
Your work ethic in working out and playing sports. How did it shape your identity and your confidence?
CrossFit.
Yeah.
I like CrossFit, man.
I know you do.
Yeah. I like lifting heavy things.
That's why you're yoked, bro.
I like lifting heavy things. My hand. The CrossFit community has been like a big part of my life for the last 3 years. Like, those people are so awesome. They're like the most positive people, and they come from all walks of life, man. There's like lawyers and doctors, chefs, bartenders, industry people, and from different backgrounds and all. And like, I just know that through them, like it gave me encouragement, like going through those crazy workouts together. You have to do some workouts, man. You got to get that blood that blood going. You know that the heart rate needs to get up. You need to challenge yourself, to live outside your comfort zone. That's where I learned that. I think that has really tested my comfort zone is the CrossFit. Those are crazy, intense workouts. But once you get through them, you give yourself a little credit. You're like, man, like I really got through something really tough and sticky that I really wanted to quit. And after you go through something like that, like your nervous system gets stronger. Like basic life tasks become easier. You're not as bothered or frustrated as easily. You don't react to bad situations as easily because you've endured something very strenuous in the day. I think it just trains your nervous system just to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, I honestly intentionally put myself into uncomfortable situations and do extremely hard things, such as ice baths or fasting or working out, right? You want to rip those muscles, and then, beautiful metaphor is that there's a rest period that you have to allow those muscles to rest and grow so that you can come back into that space even stronger.
Yeah.
And, that's where that resilience comes in, and discipline, honestly, right? Is when you have to do 3 sets of something, and after the second set, you're like, I don't know, I'm tired.
What is it? Like
your
tolerance for tension, right? Your tolerance for tension determines your potential for growth.
Absolutely.
So I think like you always have, like you said, just put yourself out there. Like, I know there's a lot of people out there that are really thinking about, man, I want to just jump into something. I just know I can do it. I just know that I have the gifts and the abilities to make this dream come true, or not come true, but actually just get it off the ground and keep and go with it. Like, I'm telling you now, you can. Like, this is how it works, Jonathan. This is how life works. You have to ask. You have to ask and be really specific what you want in life. There's no second guessing. That's how the universe is going to determine what is being placed into your life. Because if you're uncertain, then the universe is going to be uncertain with you. But if you are determined and you really are, and you really put it on paper and you have it in your mind and you say it out loud, and that's really important things. It sounds like people skip those things, but you have to write it down. It sounds so crazy, but you really have to write it down, and you have to say it out loud to somebody, and you have to have a plan. You have to have a desire to fulfill that plan. You have to have the desire. You have to have faith, right? You have to have the faith to know that all things work good if you put the work in and you have the plan. And then with that little formula right there, you will be placed on a good track, closer to where you want to be. And the mentors is a good thing to have during those times, because like a mentor is someone that's been doing something or has done something that you wanted to do. So just ask them basic questions like, what are you doing? How did you get there? What situations did you come across that you learned from? So just start asking these little questions, and people are there to help you. I know because people have been there in my life when I've had no idea how to even get anything off the ground. But like I said, like, you have to be very, very specific of what you want in this life.
Yeah, that's a beautiful formula. A few things that I heard in the formula is, one, you have to ask. And you have to know what you're asking for. If you don't know what you're asking for, how can the universe provide for you what you're asking for? It's going to give you anything. And then the thing is there's no clarity, there's no direction, there's nothing. It's just like the movie Aladdin. Be careful what you wish for, because if you ask, make me a prince, boom, a prince is made over there. But you're asking, create me into the prince that I want to be. So we need to understand clarity in what we're asking for, the desire for that dream, right? And writing it down. Most people create goals, but they don't even write them down. when you bring in as many senses as you can into an experience, the more you embody the experience, right? So instead of just keeping it up here, now you're physically writing it.
Now it's physical.
Now you
it's
see
physical.
it.
It's the first
you
form.
say it out loud. Then you hear it. All of a sudden, you're bringing in all the senses, and it becomes more real. And like what you said, believe that everything is good. That is the lenses in which you look through. And so all of these things combined, and you're willing to have faith and take actionable steps, you'd be surprised. I mean, this is why you have the life that you have. This is the only reason why I was able to start a podcast, is because, I've written this down for over a year and a half, and now it's being actualized, and your business is actualized after a couple different times that you've fallen down and dabbled in a business and it didn't go as you wanted, but it developed into where you're at right now. So I'm really curious about the times where, a specific time where you fell down, or it almost was a perceived failure, and how you learned from it to get you to this point right now.
Like a few years ago, I was like, all right, I have this idea. I'm like, all right, I just want to make something. I just want to see if I can research how to make something, or and then just package it up, label it, brand it, market it, and sell it. I just wanted to see if I can do that. And then I ended up creating Tall Tales skin balms, and it was a solution to dry skin in the restaurant industry and in the CrossFit world. And it helped a lot of people. I mean, people were receptive to it, but I knew that it was just like a stepping stone to something else. I just knew that that wasn't like selling a lot of those things. I think people were confused because they thought that I really wanted to sell like a million of these things. What I really wanted to do was just practice selling, because I'm a chef and I never sell. And I wanted to put myself out there. I wanted to fall on my face. I wanted to fail. I wanted to fail. Subconsciously, I did, because I was reading all these things like, oh, you're going to fail. You're going to fail. You got to try. I was like, well, I better get it over with now. I better make this thing and just fail right here. And then the next one, hopefully that one I'm 1 for 1. But all joking aside, like, that's what it was. It was just seeing if I can do something, and I did it. And I did sell some, and it was great. Like, it was fun. I had fun doing it. It kind of set me up for the Good Life Chef, because when that time come, like sourcing out ingredients and coming up with the packaging and all that stuff, that all came naturally because I had just done it a couple years ago. So it's setting me up for something new too. We're working with a new marketing team, and we're trying to package up some seasonings and brand the seasonings for the Good Life Chef, and maybe make some butters, and kind of like a market trade company in the works. So yeah, that's something new that's been going on with us in the last couple of weeks. I think that I can go back to that failure and be like, all right, well, I knew what worked over there and what could work what could work in the future. So yeah, we're gonna take it, one failure at a time, one success at a time. And just live life. Like, it's not too serious. I think people get caught up in monetary, right? Like, yeah, even me.
So many people.
It's hard.
External world.
It's like I get caught up in like, oh man, sales. Like, I wish I do. Like, I want just to make sales, but that's kind of bad energy on your business when you're just too focused on the money. I think people need to understand, like, just do the thing that you said you're going to do. And keep doing the thing, and the money will come. If you have a system in place and there's something to be monetized on that, and you will make money. But don't get too caught up in, like, making hundreds of thousands of dollars, and if you don't, then you're a complete failure. Like, no, anything great's going to take time.
Yeah, that's great, Andrew. Great advice, because I think we do get caught up in our external environment because that's what our senses are picking up, and it seems so real, this illusionary world that we're living in. And money is such a resource to get us to go out to dinner with our loved ones, to go on vacation, which I know that you love to travel, and to even just feed us at home or live in a home. And so, obviously it makes sense why people get caught up in it.
Yeah.
But there's a million ways to make money. And if you're not happy doing what you're doing, then brainstorm and develop your skill sets and learn something new to get you to a place where you'll be happy and figure out how to make money in that space, but through purpose and not just out of, I need to do this because I need money. That's where people fall down and they don't make money in that type of energetic space.
Yeah. I think you have to have faith that things will work out for the good for you. And that's the big one, is the faith. And then once you have that, then you have, you can have some clarity and room in your head to, so once that energy of, I got to make money is kind of on the back burner, then your mind is clear to be creative. Your mind has space to work rather than being focused on one singular thing. And that could be anything, not just money, right? Like if you just focus on, like as an entrepreneur, you always have to be creating and problem solving. But if you just focus on one thing, you can't do that. So
creativity's everything. And like you said, it's not just with money, right? It could be even a relationship, and just wanting the relationship for an external fulfillment. But a relationship is only as valuable as the internal connection you have with somebody, whether it's a friendship, whether it's family, whether it's a spouse. So people don't realize that just having the relationship is just an external satisfaction rather than that internal connection that is what it's all about. And the money is an external satisfaction. I don't even think that's a word. Satisfaction. Satisfaction. Thank you. I create my own words all the time.
Me too.
That's one of my internal superpowers, is I'm creative in developing my own words. Satisfaction.
Yeah.
I'm going to create a definition and release it on Wiki.
It'll be right here.
Yeah. But I do have this question as well. I have just a few more questions and we'll wrap up and that's it. But if you had an internal quality that you would consider a superpower, what would that be for yourself?
Oh man, just be able, I think my internal superpower would be the ability to center myself very quickly. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but in like certain situations or majority of situations I can, and that I think it just comes down to like the subtle art of not giving a fuck, right?
Yeah.
It's like you care, but you got to keep your cool.
Got to move on.
You got to keep your cool. And it's so hard. That's why I think it's a superpower, because it's so hard to do. It's easier said than done. You do have to work on that. Like, I think we're placed in such a high pressured world, and everything is go, 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 go. You have to fill every single hour, you feel like, and things are thrown at you that you're not ready for, and you kind of forget that there's other people in the world, and you're kind of getting upset. A lot of people get upset by other people's actions, but you can't let the behavior of other people affect your inner peace. You have to be able to have a little compassion, understanding that maybe, you're not the only one in the world. There's other people. So I think that's something I really hold high on my list of values, is just staying calm and being at peace. What do they call it? Namaste.
Namaste, yes. Yeah. So there are a lot of people that are having a difficult time right now that might feel uncertain of their future, or they feel stuck.
Yeah.
What kind of advice do you have for them in this time?
Yeah, because it's people are really getting down on themselves. I can see it, and I kind of get jaded by it, because I just feel like sometimes I do get insensitive to people because they haven't been having the best luck or what you would call it. But what I do suggest is to change just one thing this year, at the end of the year, till the end of the year. One little thing, just change it for the better. Something that whoever's listening, whoever I'm talking to right now, they know exactly what that one little thing, if they just changed it and improved on it, it can change the trajectory of their life. So I'm not even going to throw a million things at you guys, like just one thing at the end of the year. We're September, October, November, December, 4 months to change one thing. And that can be, I'm going to change my eating habits. I'm going to change my workout ethic. Like I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to start running, or just one thing. I'm going to be nicer, more understanding and calm with my family. So you'll be surprised how that one little thing and that one little thought will change your emotions, and those emotions will change the way you think, and how you'll have more clarity. You'll be able to and have a little success. You'll get a little taste of success. Like, hey, I changed that one little thing. I think people just need a little motivation, a little encouragement that, like, we're all going through it. We're all trying to create a life for ourselves. You have the ability. You have absolute 100% choice of what actions you take, and you gotta want it, man. If you want it, you're gonna understand that you're gonna have to sacrifice something as well, and that could be it could be anything, but want it.
Yeah, I think there's so many valuable things that you just said in that. One is just focusing on one thing. And I heard this a long time ago that always stuck with me. When you're looking to accomplish a goal, or asking these really, there was 4 questions, but I'll stick to the 2 that you said. Am I able, and am I willing? Because the thing is when you create a goal for yourself, are you able? For the most part, that's 100% for the most part. We are able to do it. If one person can do it, then another person can do it.
Absolutely.
You are able to, but are you willing? And that's a part of surrender and opening yourself up to changing what's not been working in your life. Because a lot of the times, the reasons why we're stuck or why we fall down is from the decisions and habits that we have created in our life. And it's easy to push it off on the world, and really you can push it off on anyone. You can blame anything, but this is your life, and you must take accountability for what is happening. And if you can change one thing. Anybody can change one thing, whether it is their thoughts, whether it is creating a gratitude practice, changing their eating habits, as you said, exercising. You can do one thing. And if you focus on that, that builds momentum and builds your confidence into moving on to the next
thing. And then you got 2.
Then you got 2. Yeah.
Then 4.
Yeah.
And then 8.
That's it.
16.
Up 100. We can keep going.
I could do it all day, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Dude, I appreciate you so much. Where can people find you?
All right, guys. You can find me on all social media platforms. We're on Instagram, The Good Life Chef, at The Good Life Chef. We're on Facebook, facebook.com/The Good Life Meal Prep. Visit our website. Check out all our yummy stuff that we have to offer, www.goodlifechef.com. And TikTok. If they don't ban TikTok, I'm on there too. It's at The Good Life Chef. I have a bunch of cool cutting things or knife skill stuff on there that you can check out. It's all fun and games on that one.
Yes, viral video. How to properly cut a tomato.
Yeah,
honestly.
Go check out my tomato video.
No one has ever cut a tomato like this man in front of me.
That's right. Don't cut your fingers off, guys.
Yeah, there you go. Perfect technique every single time.
Hey, it was a blast being here, man.
Yeah, for sure. Also, at Heroes Academy, at Instagram, follow us. And on YouTube, it is Moments of Aha with the Heroes Academy. Man, I love you so much, brother. I appreciate you. Thank you. And we golf tomorrow.
Yeah, we're going golf tomorrow.
Yeah,
all right.
Good.
Follow us on Instagram. We're gonna have our golf story on there.
Thanks, dude.
All right.
Yeah.